Today I'm going to give you a look at the Ancient Ruins terrain that I recently finished up for my Warmachine games, and it's mostly crafted out of pink styrofoam, or insulation foam, and the narrative here is that this is all from some ancient civilization that predates the Orgothian invasion, well before the Iron Kingdoms, and this is just like, ruins laying around that everybody doesn't really know what to make of. The main set, or component of the set, are these three sets of pillars. This first set, I want to point out, on each of the top of the pillars are these runes that are some long forgotten hieroglyphs that nobody really understands anymore and can't read or decipher. The second set of pillars is very similar to the first. The big difference being, just for a little different effect, I have one of the pillars being toppled, but again each of the pillars is topped with a rune, and there's the toppled pillar. I have moss out of some Hecky German manufactured flocking, and also this third set of pillars is supposed to be like the main set of pillars, because there's this obelisk in the middle that is a little bit different shape for whatever purpose it was used for. We don't know, but obviously it was something important. There's the Hecky moss growing up the sides. On these pieces I not only put the moss, but I wanted some ivy effect too. So that was kind of difficult to engineer, but what I came up with was the idea of using birch catkins, which are the separators of seeds inside birch tree seed pods, and I basically used metal wire, like floral wire, which I painted green, and painted the leaves up, or the birch catkins up, and attached them to it to look like ivy growing up the pillars. And I'm pretty happy with the result. It came out nicely. I might have varied the color of the leaves a little bit, but I wanted it to be a simple piece with a simple effect. The next piece that I want to show is this structure, like a building or a housing of some sort. Again, we don't really know what it was, but obviously it was some room or chamber of some sort. The ivy's growing up on this piece as well as the moss. Inside, I just simply, into the spackle base, I carved the stones. Pretty simple stuff, and there's some more ivy, and just a little building to add a little different terrain effect to the board. And the next piece I want to look at, or pieces I want to show you, are a set of walls. These are all just 1-inch thick walls made out of pink insulation foam. Use the simple method here, as with all the engraving of stones and all the pieces, of simply carving in the brick pattern with an X-Acto knife, and then exaggerating those cracks and crevices with a pencil, just going around and around in those crevices till there was some depth to them. And you can see I've added the moss. This is a ruined wall here. It's actually two pieces. You can easily make like a gap in the wall for figures to get through, or just make it an end piece like I'm showing here, and extend the wall and have it kind of an end point. So you can do different things with those different types of pieces. You could also use them to make a corner as well. This piece that I'm showing now is like a wading pool of some sort, and I actually used some spices from my wife's pantry and painted them up green to be lily pads. The water effect is simply weld bond glue, which dries nice and clear, put over kind of a brown and green swirly base, and I like that water effect pretty well. It's not perfect, but the woodland scenic stuff sometimes I have some trouble with, so I like that. The last piece is this pyramid here, which is another possible centerpiece. You can see the rune on top there, very faded away and worn. The idea that this is a very, very old structure. And I used some white highlighting around the edges of the pyramid to accentuate the breaks and the levels. And what I did with the stairs is there's 2 access points on each level, if you can see where the stairs are, and that just made for an interesting way to use the piece with miniatures in the game, and so forth and so on. I figured maybe no movement penalty if you're using the stairs, and so forth and so on. And that's pretty much my terrain set, and fairly happy with how it came out. And I'll pan out and give you a final view, and I'll show some stills here at the end. Thanks for watching.